Hello. All right. Question. Are you the great pretender? Aren't we all at some point? Don't we feel like that? Now, we've been talking about self-doubt, imposter syndrome. These are all things that we're really digging into in the Activate membership as well. And I'm so pumped that you're back here. And last week we tackled the fear of failure and worked on reframing our failures. And I hope that you now have a little bit of a new perspective that's been empowering to you. Okay. So, how did that go? Good. Yes. Feel free to share your thoughts in the chat. Let me see you. Okay. Today, I want to talk about this phenomenon called the great pretender. And it's a term that describes the facade that we put up to mask our insecurities and self-doubt. Now, this was something that, like, I was more the great pretender that I was Delyn. Okay. Many of us feel the need to pretend to be more competent, confident, successful than they actually feel. Okay. And this is closely tied to imposter syndrome, where we feel like we're being exposed as frauds despite our achievements. Okay. But why do we do this? Well, there's a few reasons why we do this. First, there's like this massive societal pressure to always appear successful and in control. Anybody else ever felt that? We're constantly comparing ourselves to others, especially when it comes to spaces like social media, right? Everybody's showing their highlight reels. And then there's like this internalized belief that we're just not enough, wherever that comes from. For you, it might be generational, past life. Maybe you're like, nope, totally know where I got that from, or who I got that from, who planted that seed. That not enoughness, it drives us to hide any of our, what we think are our inadequacies that are hiding behind the mask. And I think of, do you guys remember that movie back in the 90s, Jim Carrey, The Mask? Okay, this is exactly what I think of when I think about this philosophy. Okay, right? You had like Stanley Ipkiss. Ipkiss? Yeah, I can picture his boss yelling at him, going, "Hey, Ipkiss." Okay, you had this guy who was like timid and shy and like got walked all over. He'd go back to his apartment. He had his dog. It was like, and he was kind of a bit of a hot mess. Okay. But the moment he put this mask on, he was like, showtime. Okay. If you're like going, I have no idea what movie you're talking about, go back and watch it. If you were alive in the 90s, you know exactly what movie I'm talking about. It's brilliant. Okay. This is what we do because we all have two self-images. We have the one that we hold of ourselves and we have the one that we project out. And a lot of times they don't add up, which is where this imposter comes in. Okay. And you might be going, and common questions that you guys have been messaging me are like, how do I know if I have imposter syndrome or it's like, is it like masquerading as anxiety or depression or what's going on, right? And you might feel imposter-ish. I don't know if that's a word. Let's make it a word. If you're constantly doing things like over preparing, right? Like you expend an excessive amount of time and effort on things that could take this long, you're taking this long, right? Like you prepare for a presentation for weeks, like rechecking every detail obsessively so you don't miss anything or so that it's perfect, right? Because you don't want people to find out your secret, right? Or even if you're downplaying achievements, like you attribute your success to like luck or, they did it or somebody else's abilities. Like someone compliments your work and you say, "Oh, I just got lucky," or "It was a team effort," instead of acknowledging your contribution. Great work. Yes, thank you. And we have an awesome team too. I loved being a part of it. Maybe you have a fear of exposure. Like you're constantly worrying that others will discover that you're not as awesome as they think you are. Like you hesitate to take on new responsibilities, fearing that you're not going to live up to somebody else's expectations. Like these are the kinds of behaviors that significantly impact our personal and professional lives. And this is the type of stuff that then leads to stress and burnout, all the things. Okay, recognizing these behaviors is actually the first step towards then overcoming them. Like if you're not calling a spade and you're just sweeping it under the rug, going, I'm fine. Like that was like my favorite word. I just keep a smile on my face and how you doing, Lynn? Fine. I'm fine. Fine. I wasn't fine. Heads up. Spoiler alert. I wasn't fine. Okay, I was like trying to be everything to everyone. I was told I could have it all, which I still do believe I can have it all, but it wasn't like everything was bound so tight and I had to be in control of everything or I felt in control of nothing. And then what was happening was like, just like if I sat like this for too long, what's going to happen? Eventually, my shoulders are going to hurt. My head's going to hurt. My neck's going to hurt. My hands are going to hurt because I'm like squeezing them so tight. I'm going to be all tensed up, right? Maybe my digestive system isn't going to be working properly. My respiratory system, my immune system, all of these things would start to go downhill, and they were. But of course, I was too busy to listen to my body. I didn't have time for that. Okay, I felt like I was just pretending to know what I was doing, constantly fearing that the people I was working with or the other moms, even Dave, actually Dave knew I was a hot mess. They would find out that I was faking it till I was making it. And then this led to over preparing, working long hours, second guessing myself all the time. Like my kids could have cared less, but like I felt like I was just never enough. But through this experience, I learned that many of my colleagues, so many of my mom friends, they felt the exact same way. This realization helped me to start breaking down my own mask and building genuine connections with them. Okay. And I learned to acknowledge my achievements and give myself credit for where credit was due. Okay. I want you to now reflect on your own experiences. When have you felt like you were pretending? Maybe you're like me right now. I feel like I'm pretending. What behaviors did you notice in yourself? Share your story in the comment if you're going like me, because you would be surprised. You think that you're hiding it, but you're not. Or you think, oh, who cares about my story? I used to say this to myself all the time. But really, it was through owning my story that inspired other people to tell their story. Okay. So I want you to reflect on that. Put it in the chat. If you have questions about this, put those in the chat too. Okay. But now let's get practical here. Okay. Of course, I'm not going to like leave you high and dry. I want to give you some affirmations, some tools that are going to help you. Okay. I want you to take a moment and think about 3 things that you're genuinely good at. It can be skills, qualities, achievements, things you don't second guess yourself at. Like riding a bike. Like it could be as simple as that. I don't second guess. Give me a bike, even if I haven't ridden one for a year, I'll hop on that sucker and ride away. I don't second guess it. My mom skills, used to second guess the crap out of those. I don't second guess them anymore. mostly because I follow my intuition on everything. Okay, write them down in clear, positive statements. For example, I'm a great communicator. I have a strong work ethic. I'm a great mom. I am an awesome bike rider. Okay, now you create these statements. Okay, and they're things that you're good at, and you're like, yeah, well, it's easy to talk about the things that I'm good at, but the best part is if you acknowledge the things that you are good at already and repeat them over and over and over again, you'll internalize your awesomeness. Okay, so repeat them daily and let it build confidence within you. And then what happens is you can then take the things that you're maybe not skilled at. You got to ask yourself too, guys, like stuff that you're not skilled at, do you even want to be skilled at it? Like there's certain things that I plan on never knowing how to do. Like I'll never know how to tune up a vehicle. There's certain things that I'm like, oh, I'm okay if I never learn how to cook that. I like to eat it, but I'll eat out. Like I'm not interested in learning that skill. Okay. Like I plan to stay ignorant to it. Like there's certain things that I used to be like, I have to know how to do everything. And it's like, I don't actually want to learn how to do everything. Talk about taking some pressure off. Okay. So are you currently the great pretender? Do you have some of these identified common imposter syndrome behaviors? Remember to share your personal stories. Your stories, not only will they free you, but they'll empower others. So share them. Don't hesitate. Be a hot mess with me. It's okay. No more sweeping this stuff under the rug. Thank you guys for joining today. Thank you for your commitment. If you're not in the Activate part of the app yet, you've downloaded my app. Yes, Pursue You. It's in Google, it's on iTunes, it's in all the spots. Okay. You can even go to my website, delynmiller.com, and it's linked up right there. Okay. Download Pursue You. Then click on, you choose your pathway. There's lots of different pathways there. Choose Activate. Try it out. The app's free and there's tons of awesome stuff in there. And this is what we're digging into, because this topic right here is impacting too many people in such a big way, and it's stopping them from showing up in their life fully, which I am not okay with. I want you showing up fully. You want yourself showing up fully. Let's be honest. Deal? Awesome. I'll see you guys in Activate.